Doug. Welcome to Firehouse Stories. Doug and I are both career firefighters, as were our fathers, so we have a lot of stories to tell you. And we're going to tell you one today about something that everybody got.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, I guess. No,
pretty close to everybody.
Yeah, and it usually is a result of an event in their life or whatever. And it's a nickname. For instance, we had a guy who was way senior to us, but been on the job for a long time. And he was a chief, actually. His nickname was Foo Foo No No. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't recognize him by his name. It was always Foo Foo. And the reason that happened was he was helping the boys build a cottage. And they were, doing each had a task, and his was to screw the light plates switch plates onto the light switches on the wall. And they were a new type of light switches you'd never seen before. The switch plates, they were stamped, right? So he put these things on and screwed them on and screwed them on. And after screwing on about 3 of them on, he said, these things must be in French. And he said, well, why? He says, it's because, look at it. He says, it's Foo Foo No No. His stamping went right through the metal, right? So it was backwards on it, right? So that was his nickname from then on. And that happened well before I started on the department. And the stories about him are still as Foo Foo No No.
Foo Foo No No. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. He was. I remember a guy, when you're first on the job, you get a little nervous about missing an alarm. And so it makes you a little nervous at nighttime when you're going to go to bed. And I said to this guy, I said, time for bed, we've watched the news. And he said, well, I don't know. He said, he's just new on the job, first night. He said, I don't know. He said, I don't feel very well. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I don't feel well. He said, I'm getting some chest pains. He said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I said, oh, what? He said, I said, you're just a little nervous. I said, I'm driving. I won't leave without you. I got the bed right beside yours. I said, I'll make sure you're up. I said, you'll be fine. I said, let's just call it a night. He said, I said, listen, he said, no, I'm serious, Doug. He said, I think I'm going to go wake the captains up and tell the captains I'm going to call an ambulance to go to the hospital. I said, don't do anything stupid. I said, because I said, if you do that, I said, you're going to be labeled for the rest of your career. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, you heard me. I said, I'm going in to take a squirt. I said, I'll be back. I said, don't do anything silly. Mm-hmm. So I went into the bathroom and I came back out and in the locker room and I'm looking out into the TV room, checking him, and he's sitting there watching the news.
Was he holding his chest?
No, he wasn't holding his chest or anything. So I knew he wasn't having a heart attack, and he looked too good to not be having a heart attack. So anyways, I walked in and he started holding his chest. And I said, let's go now. I said, you're not waking the captains up. I'm not going to let you do that. So you go to bed. So he said, all right. So he got in the bed and I'm laying there. I'm watching him and I could see his silhouette in the dorm, and I could see his chest rising and going up and down. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, be my luck, he have a heart attack and died in the night, and that's going to be on me.
Just shut up. Just shut up.
So I said to him, I said, you'll be fine. But anyways, I kept an eye on him, and I finally fell asleep. We didn't go into an alarm that night. The next morning, I'm in having a squirt in the washroom. He's in there shaving or brushing his teeth or something. I looked over, and he says to me,
Get rid of the smoke.
oh, is it bothering you again?
No, it was
Smoking again?
Yeah, smoking again.
Anyways, he says, oh, you threw me all off my story.
You're just waking up.
Oh, he said, I just want to thank you, he said, for not looking after me last night and not letting me wake the captains up. I said, listen, I said, you're a firefighter now. I said, don't do anything silly, because I said, you'll be labeled. I said, you do something like that, I said, you're going to be labeled for the rest of your career. I said, keep your nose clean. I said, you're out of this hall tonight. I said, you'll be somewhere else tonight. I said, just behave yourself. I said, don't do anything silly. So I won't. Sorry, he's like that. I said, okay, no problem. I said, mum's the word. We won't talk about it. Anyways, he said that he was gone. Next shift, I'm listening. Oh yeah, I worked with that guy nicknamed Terminal. I said to the guy, I said, who's Terminal? And he told me, well, it was this guy.
He's got a nickname.
I said, he's got
Within a week.
Within a week, he's already got labeled. He went to another station and said he had cancer and it was terminal cancer and all that. So the guy labeled him terminal. No sympathy at all. Just you got to keep your guard up.
Yeah, you sure do. Where is he now?
He passed away.
Oh, dead. He was terrible. It was awful. He had a brother that was. This is even worse, and I'm not going to comment on it because the nickname's going to make the comments for itself. His nickname was Porno. And his brother was on the fire department as well.
Older.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say too much more about that, but I can tell you about another guy in our squad that came. He came from the mines. He was a miner before he came, and he came in and he came in with like half a finger gone. So his nickname was 9.5.
9.5. 9.5 digits.
Yeah, 9.5. So that was his nickname throughout his whole career, was 9.5. Now, how he lost his finger was he was job in the mine was cutting detonator cable. So he would measure it for the time, and then he would take an axe and he would cut it, and he misstruck and ended up cutting his finger off. So that's why they called it 9.5.
Bob, did you not have a nickname?
I did at one point in time.
You were a pretty skinny little bugger.
I was, and I had hair back then, and it was just blonde.
Just as blonde and white.
It was a beautiful.
What'd you look like? You
looked I looked like an Adonis. I looked like a Greek god or a goddamn Greek.
You look like a Q-tip. That's what his nickname was, Q-tip.
Q-tip. Okay. I'll tell you, his nickname is Big.
Well, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, you can see why. About this guy.
Oh, what is it?
Cement Head.
Oh, Cement, yes. The guys, they labeled Cement Head. We were playing hockey back when we were younger. We're in the dressing room. All these firefighters in the dressing room. Case of beer cracked open. Stuff going on, bullshit, getting shot. And he's tying up his skis because we were going to start to play hockey. And somebody tried to get his attention and couldn't get his attention, so he threw a hockey puck and hit him in the head while he was tying his skis up. It hit his head and it made the same sound as when it dropped and hit the floor. So he labeled it Cement Head. Oh yeah, Cement Head. Imagine having that name.
Throughout his career, Cement Head. Even nowadays, we talk about him.
Yeah.
It's always Cement Head. You know, another one was a guy who had a face that was sort of inverted a little bit, you know.
Was he not in a snowmobile accident and he hit a tree?
I don't know.
I'm serious.
No, I know.
I think he kissed a tree.
I don't know. I never heard that.
I think broke out every bone in his face. Yeah.
His face, well, his face was sort of. I mean, he was a good-looking guy. It was just sort of a little different, and his nickname was Shovel. Like, well, he'd been hit in the face with a shovel, so they call it Shovel.
Ruthless.
Yeah, there was.
What do we got? Any more on there, Bob?
Oh, this one.
I've got my glasses.
Oh, it's Cowboy.
Oh, Cowboy, yeah. Well, Cowboy, we talked about him in a video before. If you've been watching our videos.
He was a farrier, a guy, blacksmith, sort of, worked with horses.
Yeah, well, you call him what you want. Anyways, he got called a cowboy because that's all he did was horses and cows and hoofs and he talked like a cowboy. So he got labeled cowboy. That's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Not a bad one.
So those are the nicknames that we have. Now, I'll tell you a story about another one that we have with a nickname. He's sort of was a famous captain when I came on, and I got to work with him for about 3 years. So it was a pleasure. His nickname was Strock.
Oh.
Strock the Cock.
Strock.
Now, it wasn't because of, these were the 70s, right? These were the days of the porn movies and, Johnny Wadd, Holmes, or stuff like that. So Strock the Cock. It was the same sort of period, but it wasn't about the same sort of thing. It was because Bill was this guy was about 5'9", 5'10".
Sure looking dude.
Yeah, I mean, a good guy. He had a hound dog sort of eyes, like on droopy hound dog eyes, and a face on him like a potato, like a nose like just a potato on his face, right? And
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble.
great big bare belly, and his pants tucked up way underneath it, with bow legs.
He didn't walk; he strutted.
And he strutted. He was the captain, and everybody knew it. He'd come out, Jim. So we had a fire. It was in a warehouse, and there was an all-nighter. As a matter of fact, it was a 3-nighter. We were there for 3 nights. But the first night we were pouring water on it, like just pouring water over because it was compartmentalized. We were, we're opening up the ceiling and pouring water on it with it, and it was like shops in the front with warehouses, workshops, and so on and so forth in the back with trucking wells. Where the trucks come down, loading docks to go down, so they can load directly off the floor of the truck onto them. And we'd been out there since 11 o'clock, and this was about 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And Strachey comes out to relieve us, but he comes out and he walks through the building. So he's walking from the front, which is level land, right through, and looking at the inside and taking a look and going. He comes back out onto the loading docks and takes about 3 steps. I was watching, whoosh! He just disappeared, like completely disappeared. All you could see was his helmet floating on the surface, just sort of floating like very common. Before he comes spluttering up with this potato nose again. nothing like throwing a bucket of cold water on a cock, I'll tell you right now. But anyways, this is Firehouse Stories, and you've tuned in today, and it's been nice to have you. If you liked it, please press the like button. If you like us and you'd like to hear more, press the subscribe button. This will come right to your mailbox. You won't miss any because we post every Friday. And until next Friday, we'd like to say goodbye. I'm Bob.
Doug.
Goodbye.